we have an official launch date for the Sony Xperia 1 Mark 6. Save the date. It's May 15th. So a week from now, we're going to get the successor to the Sony Xperia 1 Mark 5. I have a lot of new images that I'm going to share with you so you can get a first look at it. They're product marketing images that, of course, have leaked onto the internet, so you can see what it looks like, see some of the information on the features, because some of that stuff can be taken from these photos, and also, it's a sharp-looking phone. So, before we get into that, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thanks for being here. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like, subscribe, little notification bell, all that jazz. Now let's talk about the Xperia 1 Mark 6. Not going to waste any of your time. Here you go with some of the images. So I was able to get these off of the internets because, of course, they leaked out and made available for people to see. Looks pretty similar. Now, some of the things you can't see at first glance, as far as we know, it's going to be a different aspect ratio. It's going to be the 19 by 5 by 9, which is very similar to what you get with the S24 Ultra and different phones like that. So it seems like the 21 by 9, the thinner, more elongated phone, is going the way of the Dodo. It's going to be extinct, which I'm quite sad about, but we'll see how this is. Maybe it'll be a better experience. I'm not going to complain too much until we get it and test it out. And of course, I will compare it against the Sony Xperia 1 Mark 5. So we can still see that it's got the shutter button on the right-hand side that you can use, and left side still clear. It looks like there's some additional texturing on the sides as well. So with the Xperia 1 Mark 5, we got kind of the contour lines. It seems like there's going to be a little bit better grip on this one, which I think is important. This is something to use out in a lot of different environments. It's a creator phone. It's something to basically replace having to be able to carry around your DSLR. There's a lot of capabilities these cameras possess, so having that extra level of grip on the phone I appreciate. I really liked it with the Xperia 1 Mark 5, and I like the textured glass on the back too, which hopefully we'll see a reappearance of that. So we know it's going to have a 5,000 milliamp battery. Looks like from one of the images, it looks like they're expanding the heat sink for the thermal management on there. That's also important. We had a lot of improvements with the Xperia 1 Mark 5 when it came to heat management. I expect to see some more of that, especially now we'll have the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3. Going to have all the cool audio stuff, which a lot of people like, and of course your Sony XM5 earbuds will sound fantastic with it. And yeah, I think we're going to be in for a lot of stuff. So one thing that was kind of cryptic, so Sony, in their tweet, they said, "Get closer to a world never seen with your naked eyes. The next one is coming." Set a reminder for the big announcement. Sony Xperia YouTube, 15th of May. It's going to be 1600 hours. So 4 p.m. Japan time. It's going to be 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. So 9 o'clock in the morning, I will be here to do some follow-up from that too. I'm really excited about it. I don't know when I'll be able to get my hands on them. I have talked to Sony. I believe I'll be on the list. What time on that list, I don't know, but I should get one at some point, hopefully before the phone launches. So, yeah, that's interesting. Talk about getting a look at the world that you can't see with your eyes, getting a closer look. That, to me, says macro, and I'm expecting to see some sort of cool macro. It also looks like we've got an enhancement on the zoom. So we know we've got the continuous zoom already with the Sony Xperia 1 Mark 5, which I believe is like 85 to 135 millimeters, something like that. Just remembering off the top of my head. I believe it's going to go up to about 170 now. It looks like what they're doing is using that continuous zoom technology, just like you would with an optical zoom on a DSLR camera, to adjust the focal length on there. This, I believe, is going to go to 170, which I believe is about 7 times. So that would be really cool. That technology is something that's still exclusive to the Sony phones, so it's really neat having that ability for that mid-range zoom focus, and now having still the same lossless, high-quality optical zoom that goes, if that goes up to 7 times, that would be great. And that's why you have all these extra lenses. That's one thing that's great about the Sony. You just get the 3 lenses. You don't have to have 4. You don't have to have a telephoto and a telescopic telephoto. So what a lot of these companies are doing, like Apple and Samsung, they've got the 1 time, which is the normal camera, and then they're doing a digital, calling it like an optical quality digital zoom for the 2 times. Then they have a dedicated 3 times or dedicated 5 times, or both. So what they have to do is switch between all those different lenses, whereas us Sony fans with that 85 to 135 millimeter, you can do that zoom in between. It's using the same lens, it's just adjusting it just like you would a real optical lens on a camera. Having an even further zoom range on that, I think would be fantastic. Tossing a macro on top of that, I think we're going to be in for some real treats whenever it comes to this. And I think we're going to get some consolidation of the apps too. I've been looking a lot into, well, doing research on the phone, and I think we're going to get like maybe one unified app finally. Don't quote me on this, but it would be great because, you know, whenever you fire up the Sony phone, you've got multiple different apps, right? You've got the Video Pro, you got the Cinema Pro, Video Pro, Music Pro. There's all these different apps that you have to use for different functionality, and I think we're going to get a merger of that into one unified app that's supposed to more closely mirror some of the stuff you get with the Sony Alpha cameras. That would be great. That's one rumor I hope comes true. And on top of that, I really hope we see an extension on the software support. So really, we've been getting 2 years of operating system updates, 3 years of security patches. That's not a whole lot, especially when you're talking about an expensive phone. Yes, the phone price did come down. I believe it was $13.99 for the Xperia 1 Mark V. What we need, though, it needs to get to at least $12.99. If they could get to like $12.49, I think that would be the ideal sweet spot. We know that it's going to cost more because it's a niche phone. It's not globally pushed out there everywhere. It's not on carrier shelves. You can't even go into Best Buy and get them anymore. I would really like to see that return so you could go into the store and actually look at one and buy one if you want. But they're just not as widespread as the other devices are out there. It costs more money. Their profit margins are much lower because they're really having to pay a lot more money to make these phones. So it's always going to be more expensive. But if it is that expensive, they really should offer you better support. I would be perfectly happy if we went to 4 years of operating system updates, 5 years of security patches. I think that would be perfectly fine. I think that would be acceptable for most people. Even if they went to 3 years of operating system updates and 5 years security patches, like anything is better than the current one. I think the current setup is probably about the worst one out there in the phone market right now, and they're one of the most expensive phones that you can buy, so I would really like to see that. I'm hoping to see some new accessories, maybe a couple little things, change it up, give us some more tools as creators to use these things to really go out and take some good photos. I'm hoping to see some sort of emphasis on computational photography. I've been very adamant about the fact that it's great that you get that pure photography experience because you can go hands-on, use the camera app, you can control everything just like a DSLR, but there's sometimes you just need to take a good point and shoot shot. Like sometimes I just want to be able to grab it, take a photo real quick, and it look really good. And that's not really the level we're at with this phone, especially when it comes to like night shots and even when it comes to just normal shots. So it's great that they're making advances in a lot of this stuff, but I really think we need to have that dedicated point and shoot. I think it would go a long way to helping people bring more people into the platform because not everybody wants to go in, dive in, sit there, adjust everything to get that perfect shot, because you can take some amazing shots with this. But if you don't know what you're doing and you're not good at doing that stuff and you're not educated on how to take good photos, then you're not going to get the most out of this phone. And I think that's a lot of what happens. You see a lot of people and they give these phones negative reviews because they just use the point and shoot and they're like, it's okay. But what they don't know how to do is go in and take a good shot using all the tools that this phone has to offer, because it really can take some amazing, I think, most realistic photos you can get. And I love that natural look. I love that natural photo where it's like untouched by all the computational photography stuff, because you get a lot of sharpening, a lot of saturation. Depending on what phone you use, it just doesn't quite look how it looks in reality. And that's what I really appreciate about this phone, because you get the most realistic looking photos I think you can possible. And then again, the video stuff is top notch. We're looking at the Export T sensor. I think we're going to see some improvement across that whenever it comes to the sensor, maybe even across the different cameras, but I think we're in for some surprises. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait for it to get here. We're just a week away now, and then all the mysteries of the universe will be unlocked for us because it will finally be announced and it'll be here. And the other thing I hope for is that they need to get it out faster. Not like, okay, it launched in Japan, 3.5 months later it shows up in the States. Like, we need it faster than that. So that's all I got. Hopefully you enjoyed this, enjoyed seeing the photos, enjoyed the discussion. Let me know if you're looking forward to this phone. Like, I know there are people out there that like the Sony phones. I know, of course, plenty of people love to watch my channel for the Sony content. I love the Sony phones. This is my favorite phone of last year. I still love this phone. So I can't wait for the new one to get here. and we'll see what all the surprises come along with it that haven't been ruined by the leaks and rumors and everything else. So that's all I got. If you have any questions or comments, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.